Hey everyone, welcome to another Keller Williams Realty Technologies presentation. We're so excited to have you all with us today. Let's see if we can get our webcam on. There we go. Hey everyone, can you see us? Look who's here. It's
Hi,
Catherine and Brenda.
Happy Friday.
All right, happy Friday. Hey, can you all hear us okay? We want to be sure that we're showing on camera as well as you're able to hear us. Super. All right, good. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so let's get started. Hey, here's what's on our agenda. Email security awareness. This is actually something we're going to be presenting at Family Reunion. So we'd like your input on this. I'm very excited about this content. We're going to talk to you about some KW technology updates, the latest and greatest things that are going on in our technology roadmap. We're always going to want to include our top training and support needs, so we have some questions to ask you. And if you all are coming up with anything in particular that's creating problems in your market center, please let us know so we can get our support team on that. We want to give you an update on the technology community program. We're going to continue the discussions. A lot of great stuff happening on there. And then, of course, our upcoming events and anything else you guys want to add. All right, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Email security awareness is the first topic. Honestly, this seems like a lot of common sense to us and to our people that are involved in technology like yourselves, but we need to be sure that our associates are clear on this, because they're always so busy. They always have so much going on, and phishing experts, spammers really expect that. They want you to be off your guard because you have so much happening. So they're going to do things and say things and send you things that get your attention, but honestly, that's what we don't want to do. So hackers are using all kinds of email, social media, phone calls, any kind of form of communication, if you think about it, to steal information. So your businesses in general, are a worthwhile target. So one of the first things that we want to do is ignore. It's easy for us to ignore. You just simply don't respond to any emails that request personal information of you, any bank information. Phishers will include false but sensational information, like it's urgent or your account details may have been stolen. We all know this, but we need to make sure associates are clear. Reputable companies don't ask people for their usernames and passwords, right?
That's true.
They have it. Why would you come to me and ask me for it? So if you ever see something like that, clearly ignore that. And we'd like to know some of the things that you guys have experienced, some things your agents have experienced. Let us know what you're seeing. So we want to be sure that you contact that company directly by phone, by email. Go directly to their resource to do that. All right? So that's number one. Number two, don't click on links and downloads or files, attachments in an email from anybody that you don't know. I'm always getting a contract. Hey, here's the contract that you asked for. Here's the information from people I just don't know.
No, I didn't ask for that.
I didn't ask for that. So don't do that. Be cautious. Be aware. And then be aware of the from email. This is a great one because they like to spoof the name of the display name of who it's coming from. More than half of the emails that are targeted, they target the largest brands with these names. So it's going to look something like this. I think I actually have a screenshot for you. All right, so this is to you. This is your name at kw.com, so it's clearly coming to me. It's from my bank, because it says it's from my bank. And you'll notice it's coming from my bank at secure.com.
Is that where you bank?
Well, no, but it's secure, so that should be fine, right? I don't bank at secure. So this is exactly a great question that you asked, Brenda. I don't bank at secure.com. Secure.com, the bank doesn't own that. Somebody else does. So that's why we have to be very careful. Kale says when they're onboarding agents, they need to be turning on two-step verification. There's some really cool stuff coming up with two-step verification, including some hardware that Google's going to be introducing pretty soon. We'll bring that into one of our webinars.
So I see that a few of you are typing in some stories, and all these are very sad stories. However, they will get the attention of attendees at a family reunion session. So if you do have any horror stories, you can leave them anonymous, but the more realistic and the more we can make this message hit home at family reunions, so the more you're able to let us know exactly, what happened to one associate, then we can work that into
Yeah.
that session.
Where should they send that? Just send ambassadors to you?
Ambassadors@kw.com would be
Yeah.
a great place to send those things.
And we'll make sure it gets to the
Yeah.
right people.
One other thing too about the links, if you hover over any links in the email, that's another way that you could find
Right.
out where is it really directing me to Wells Fargo, spelled with a 0. That's
Oh,
how
yeah,
they
I've
trick
not seen
you,
that
yeah.
one. Oh,
And
nice.
you'll see that the link that they're sending you to is not at
a
all
Wells Fargo.
related to
Yeah.
your bank or whoever they're claiming to be.
Exactly. And don't think of a landing page will get you there either, because a landing page can also be spoofed. You
Yeah.
really have to look at the source. And if you are not sure, just don't do it and find another way of getting in contact with them.
They'll call you if it's that important.
If your bank needs your
Yeah.
money, they're gonna find a way to get in touch with you. All right. Next is ensure that the website is secure. That's really important. So before submitting any information, anything personal, you want to be sure it's there. We want to look for the HTTPS. The S is important because that stands for security rather than usual HTTP, but that's not the only thing, of course, that you're looking for. Also look for the lock icon. That's another quick indicator, having that little icon that that will show that it has an extra layer of encryption. All right, and then of course pay attention to the URL, just like you said. You really have to look at it. That O instead of a 0.
Yeah, Wells Fargo.
Ooh,
It's an O
that's a good
in
one.
the Fargo.
Yeah.
0 in the Fargo.
0 in the Fargo. Awesome. And then we want you to be cautious with passwords and personal data. Don't share your PIN words. That's a thing we're actually going to be kind of talking about today, because a lot of us need access to information, and the only way to get to it might be a shared PIN number or
Fastest way.
password. The fastest way, there
It's
you
always
go.
the best way,
Most
but-
convenient, right? So that's not the best way. Don't write them down. Hey, guess where people are going to look for your password right away? Under your keyboard. If you have people cleaning and they're looking around, I mean, that could happen. So that's where it's going to be. Don't use the same password. There's a lot of password tricks out there.
Mhm.
We actually gave a few during our webinars. Love to hear some of your password tricks for sure. Change your password every 90 days. Just those are things that we're going to want to be sure that we are doing and being careful of. All right, and then of course you want to keep your computer secure. That's one of the most things. Have your malware, your spyware, your antivirus, all of that up to date. That's what's going to help you. It's very important. And then disable. Be sure that you're when you are clicking on stuff, look at what your software is telling you. All right, and the last two, we told you there's the top 8. Look for anybody that says it's urgent, threatening. That's what we're saying. If it says your account's been suspended, deleted, click here to get access to it. Put in the last passage. Remember, no, we won't do that. We won't ask you that information, and neither will KW. All right, and then lastly, we have always report suspicious activity. If you see something, report it. If you see something, say something. I know that sounds kind of silly. Right now, we want you to send it right to support@kw.com. If it's coming from, or it looks like it's coming from support, if you're not sure, take it to your tech coordinator. They may come to you. The ambassadors may, the associates may come to the ambassadors for that information. So be sure to do that. All right, we are getting a lot of great stuff in here. We want to continue to get that from you. Please send it to ambassadors@kw.com so we can include it.
Yeah, and I think it's this weekend. What we just covered, an article covering all of this is going to be posted in KW Connect if it's not there already.
It is there already, and I will share that link with
we'll
them
share that link.
after the webinar. I meant to bring it to them.
Because something else you could do is to go to that article in Connect, and let's use Connect for what it's intended for. That's
good.
sharing knowledge, and then plus that knowledge with your knowledge, so you can comment on that article. Like, here's something else I found to be a helpful trick when I train. I noticed some of you are sharing some of your training tips that you use in your class, or again, you could share stories there. So either way, the sooner you can get those to us, the better, because believe it or not, family reunion planning's already in full swing. In fact, by next Friday, we'll have a list of all of the technology breakout sessions that are going to be happening, and this will definitely be one of them.
I know. How great is that? We're already going to have all that those sessions ready, so
Yeah.
you guys can see what you're going to attend already.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to get you all that information here in just a little bit. We do want to go over the technology updates and roadmaps, so I'm going to let Brenda take that away.
Drive here.
Yeah,
Okay,
drive
thank
away.
you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have, oops, did I miss the roadmap? This is eEdge update. So this you might have seen if you went into eEdge and went to My Contacts in the last couple of days. This went live Wednesday night. Market Leader did a push that has changed where you go on your dashboard to look for unread messages. So this big pop-up explains what changed. So if that's something they're trying to declutter, as always, the dashboard and the menu bar at the top. So anything email related can be accessed by clicking that email icon in the upper right corner. And that's where you'll go to see all of the unread messages. And then, so sometimes you'll have, for example, in our example, you see the email address for this contact in the bottom right corner. That is not a valid email address, believe it or not. sally.seller@noemail.com. That's kind of what we use for training. That's not a valid email address. So if we were to send her an email or put her on a campaign, we would get a notification that that's not a good email address. So you can now remove those from contact records. You used to not be able to do that because you had to have that in the contact record. So now that can be deleted. And this is what it will look like after you do that. It'll just say no email until you can get a valid email.
Which is great.
Yeah, just giving a little bit more control and flexibility into managing your contacts. Alrighty. And then what you can do is isolate contacts that are not already in your database. So what you can do is filter out email from non-contacts, and you will see that right here. So when you click on that email icon, you come to this email interface, and then you have this new filter option where you can see emails from non-contacts, and then you can decide what you want to do with them. If you want to follow up, add them to your contacts, that's now an option. Alrighty. So just a look at our product roadmap. So those were some eEdge updates, which continue to come every couple of weeks. There are a couple other minor ones that happen, such as in the email signature, I think the font size has changed, so we didn't make a picture of that, but just a couple of things that you'll notice that were errors before have now been fixed. Yeah. So on our roadmap, I will just go from top down. So on the top is the news about the Market Center recruiting website. So we do have a launch date. It is Monday, next Monday, November 14th. And what launch means is that all the websites are being provisioned. Emails are going to be sent to the KLRW email addresses at every Market Center, which contains the link to go to the admin page for that Market Center's website, along with the username and the password. So we'll give you a couple more tips on that in just a minute, but that is definitely launching on the 14th, and they'll be ready to get started on those. KW Mobile is the next one right in the center of the roadmap. We have an all status search that Kevin talked about last week on the webinar. It's actually live now. We haven't announced it yet. It will be announced in Sunday's KW Now publication. But if you have an iPhone or an iPad and you just update to the latest version, you'll see it in there. Androids, I have an Android, Kevin has one, mine updated right away, yours took some time. Yeah. So I think the cache has to clear if you have an Android phone, but it should happen by the end of today if you want to get in there and look at it. And again, all that means is you're able to now filter the properties even further by pending or active status.
And support just visited with me. They said if you're continuing to have troubles, it doesn't cache, you can remove it from your phone and then go back into the App Store, add it from the App Store, and that should still recognize the branding.
Just reinstall the app.
Reinstall the app, and everything should be good.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're really eager to see that, then that's what you can do. And then push notifications, again, we talked about that last week, for consumers to let them know if a certain property or a search area has had any activity, any change. That'll be pushed out to the consumers, and that's targeted for the end of this month.
That's great for
Yeah.
agents, yeah.
It'll be, and again, both of these things are great reasons if your agents feel like they're running out of reasons to, or what to say when they touch their database like they're supposed to every week. Here's some great excuses to reach out to clients and let them know, if you don't already have my app, download it, and if they do have the app, then here's a couple of new features that will make the app even more fun to use. Yep. Down the slide on the bottom left, the KW Marketplace, I believe you talked about this last week too, still targeted to launch by the end of the year. It's just a much nicer interface to shop from KW approved vendors, so you can do that now on My KW, but the Marketplace is just a much more, the interface is a lot more user-friendly and looks more modern, and it kind of matches the brand of everything else you're seeing coming from Keller Williams. And then over to the right side, the KW Connect Ambassador Group community. You saw the wireframe of what that page in KW Connect will look like, and that still is planned for about the end of this year. That's targeted, of course, with some testing. So again, in the meantime, we're using the Program Advisory Group, the PAG, to make sure that when that does go live, we've got all of the right content in there. But again, the beauty of it is that everybody can contribute, and it will evolve depending on who's active in it. So
and if you're still having trouble getting into the PAG, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just no, we can't add you to the PAG. We have to have you visit the PAG with your KW account. Be sure you're clearing your cache, logging out of all accounts so that you are able to get access to that.
And we'll share that link during the webinar. Just click on it, and yeah, again, the key is to be logged in with your kw.com address. So regarding the Market Center recruiting website, so that you are fully prepared to support your leadership to whatever degree you're going to be involved with these websites. The landing page, which has been there on KW Connect, has been updated. So this is just a high-level look at that page. But the red boxes there indicate where all of the videos are. So the first video is how to activate your site, and then all of the other videos are how-tos. And with the email that goes out to leadership on Monday, embedded in that will be a link to a new video. It's about a 4.5-minute video that covers the value proposition of these websites, kind of what they look like, what they're designed to do, and then the real quick, what do you have to do to get set up? It's literally 3 steps to set up and launch that website, and then it's ready to manage and keep the content updated on an ongoing basis. On the page that you're looking at here, down on the bottom of the screenshot, is where we have links to FAQs and resources right here. 2 really good resources that are there. One is a site setup or a site activation checklist. So without having to watch the video or to supplement the video, it's just a reminder, a little worksheet to fill out to make sure you've got everything you need, which would include headshots, all of the contact information, names and email addresses of the ALC members and the team leader. All of that's required. One ALC member and your team leader have to be added to the site in order for it to launch, as well as the Market Center's contact information. So that worksheet just helps plan and get ready for that. So that could be downloaded anytime and get ready for Monday.
Yep.
As well as a user guide, because this is a WordPress-based site, and WordPress, it depends on how it's set up, how intuitive it is, but it can be a little tricky. So we just documented the most commonly accessed features that we think will be used and put those into a document.
Just so that you all are clear right now, what Brenda's showing you is the Market Center website landing page that we have on KW Connect. So you can find that under technology, under technology, resources technology, and then it's one of the landing pages that are available there. We'll show you all that here in just a little bit, but that's what she's showing now. Everybody has access to that. Everyone can see the videos and the setup information in there. Questions coming in like who has access to this site, and it really it's
everybody.
Everybody does. so you can access this, and then you can find out a lot more about the recruiting sites.
Let's be clear. Who has access to this page on KW Connect?
Correct.
Everybody.
Right.
Who has access to the actual recruiting website?
Right.
The klrw.com, that address will.
To start.
So yes, somebody will have to log in initially with that username and the password that will come in the email. Whoever logs in with that can from there add other users.
Administrators. Right?
Yep. So maybe the MCA logs in with that account and then they add a user to contribute content. So all that's explained in the activation videos.
Right.
Yep.
So we urge you to go look at that and get those questions answered. If you have any more, you know where to find us.
You know where to find us.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the all status search. This is just what it looks like. So to find the search, it will be, depending on what version or type of device you have, it'll be under the advanced search features. And then when you bring up the advanced search, you'll just notice that these boxes have been added. All statuses, or just pending, or just active. So that's what's been released. Like I said, a soft launch, and for sure all of you should see those by the end of the day today.
And what a good idea to contact your clients and your customers, your contacts that have your app, and let them know that there's this cool update that they can now check out.
Yeah. All right, and I'm going to hand it back to Kevin.
All right. So we're going to just talk about the top training and support needs, which right now we have a question for you guys. We want to know, are your agents using their @kw.com email address as their branded email address? In other words, are they using this on their business cards? Are they using this to check their email? What are they using? What are you finding your agents are utilizing the most? And if they're not using their kw.com email address, can you tell us why? Some of the things we're hearing is branding, which I can understand if you're using your own custom domain name, so that would make perfect sense. Are some using their Gmail accounts? Are some using their Yahoo accounts? What does that look like? So it's interesting, I'm getting a lot of 50-50s, a lot of 40-60s. So a lot of them are using their personal Gmail accounts. And when you say mostly new agents, Trina, do you mean mostly new agents are using their @KW because they now have to in order to get set up? And if that's the case, are they continuing to use that email address? So Kyle says they like to use a personal realtor Gmail account. So Bob the realtor or something like that, I guess, is
Kevin the realtor.
Kevin the realtor. That would be very original. Okay, very good. I like that. That's good conversation. We're trying to gather this information for our Google product managers. We want to know what you all are using. What is it that we can do to get people to use a kw.com email address? What would be a win-win for everybody? So just be aware of that.
Another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll come back on camera. What are some of the other? We realize that the Google app suite available with the kw.com package doesn't necessarily have every single app due to some security restraints, but we would like to know that. What Google apps do you wish were included with the kw.com account that aren't right now? That's feedback that our product manager also wants to know. We're actually talking to Google today, so this will be good information to take back. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's a good conversation for the PAG as well. So we'll remember to keep that conversation going. Oh, the Google PAGs, right? Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to the community technology community updates. So I want to thank Nicole and Joan for getting this conversation started, because it's a really great conversation. We got a lot of comments on it, a lot of great information. So the discussion is this. One was the question is, who handles all of the Market Center's technology tools. That's just a summary of that. And then how many Market Center tech coordinators, ambassadors are given the assistant team leader role, assistant MCA role in the white pages, so they have access to reports and the KW technology tools that they wouldn't have otherwise. So that's also a very great question. And in the way that we summarize this through all of the different answers and the information that was provided was, although these members are responsible for handling day-to-day activities, they don't have the access to the tools or the reporting that they need to make themselves successful, to prove their value, or to help the market centers reach their goals. You all can agree or not agree with that. I'm sure many of you will agree. And we also know that the MCA, the assistant team leader, needs to log in and perform the task as provided by the ambassador or MC Tech coordinator, or they have to provide their username and password, which we know provides its own set of challenges. And then another thing that we've seen happening in the community is members are collaborating on a survey, and they're asking what tools and reporting systems that are needed to have the access and the information that they need. So I'd like for you all to please continue that conversation, look at the surveys that are there already, and I have a survey for you all that's asking you that question. I'm going to share this with you in the chat module. So I'm going to ask that you all go ahead and start look at that as soon as we're done with today's content. We only have a few more minutes left. Yep. And the community link is going to be, give me a minute to pull that up. So I'll share that with you as well. Stuart has KW.com email is 60.5 usage. That's pretty good. How do you know that, Stuart? Where are you getting that percentage from? That's really great information. All right, give me 1 minute and I will get the community link for you. I think I have it in an easier place, but go ahead.
Here. So again, some of the conversations that have been going on in the Ambassador Product Advisory Group are helping us make a case to make this an official role. So that's kind of where we're at. We're trying to help get all of you the recognition and the rewards that you deserve. So kind of talked about that at Mega Camp. We're just starting at the bottom by proving the value of what you're doing. And so we're in some conversations now gathering metrics. So think about the training tracker that each market center should be using as part of the growth initiative, where usually it's the MCA who's keeping track of which associates attended 2 or more training sessions per month and what is their production. Is there a correlation there? So we realize it's difficult where we don't have a lot of, where you don't have access, as Kevin just said, to some reports that would help you. What we want to know right now, the theme of what we're trying to find out right now is, what are those numbers where if you had them, then you would be able to make better decisions and also to prove that what you're doing is making an impact. So that's kind of where we're in that mode right now. So when you have a moment to go to the PAG, that will make a post that specifically asks for that. But that's what we're wanting to collect right now. What data points do you not have? And even if they're not existing reports, just tell us, what do you wish you knew? You know, adoption numbers on, one thing we're trying to still get would be, you know, how many agents have their websites provisioned, things like that. Whatever you think would help you prove your value, we need to know that so that we can push to get that data available to you. And then we can help you collect that together and tell a story about what a difference you're making and look at the value that I'm bringing and what's that worth. So this is the whole point of why we're doing this PAG.
Exactly. And I just want to mention, I did send you all 2 links. Both of those links do require you use your @kw.com email account. And that's one of the reasons that we want you all to be a part of the PAG, is because that's a closed group. It can only be only KW associates can get in there. We know when people join, when people leave. We don't have to manage all that. So it's a really great place. It's a safe place, most of all, for all of us to communicate about our expectations and the expectations that we have of of the ambassadors. So we're excited about helping you all achieve what you want, especially all the work you've been doing till now. So right here on December 15th, this is a really important message that I promised I would mention today. On December 15th, we're going to start using the white pages as our page for our page for our record of for ambassadors. So in order to be recognized as a KW ambassador after December 15th, you have to get your leadership to do this, okay? So please get this done as soon as possible. I ran a report just recently. Many of you have not done this. I can tell you who you are, but I won't. So I do expect that you all get this done as soon as possible. That way we have a single place of record. All right, any questions on that? I promise I'm going to get to some of the questions you guys are asking because I know you have many. All right, upcoming events. We have November 21st. That's the next spotlight on KW Technology series. Actually, we have a class on the 14th. Not sure why that's not on there, but on the 14th, we have your Internet Lead Generation series. We're going to continue that. We're going to talk about the exciting world of Google Analytics. So we'll introduce Google Analytics to you, how to get that on your KW website, how it can help you in the future. Then we have November 21st, the spotlight on KW Technology. The leading EDGE strategies with Lori Ballin is on the 28th. We're going to be talking about how she's taken advantage of KW Video. Don't miss that. Lori is one of our top agents, and she's really taken advantage of KW Video. And then on December 5th, we will have Profit Dash join us and talk to us about making your taxes a little bit more exciting. It's going to be fun doing your taxes this year using the Profit Share Dash and some great tips that they have for you. So please join us Monday, November 5th. All of these, December 5th, all of these can be found on KW Connect. All right, let's finish off with asking this question. What video game was introduced in November of 1972? In November 1972, was it Space Invaders, Pac-Man, or Pong? Yes, let's see. Brenda guessed Pong, and you all are correct. It was Pong. The Atari Corporation announced Pong, an early video game popular both at home and in arcades. Most of you got that. A few of you threw in a Pac-Man, but that's okay. Pong is the answer. So did you all know that the father of Pong, the father of video games, Ralph H. Baer, recently passed away on this last Saturday? Yeah, he was the inventor, the father of home video games. He just passed away last Saturday, but he did live to a ripe old age of 92. So thank you very much for doing that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you all very much for joining us today.